Hey everyone, I'm back, and today we're going to be talking about Legend. And this movie came out in 1985, and it's directed by Ridley Scott, starring Tom Cruise, and Tim Curry is in it too. And before I talk about the actual film itself or any of my thoughts on it, I need to establish this right out of the gate, and that is I watched the director's cut for this movie because I heard that was the version that people like a lot more. And the biggest difference you'll know is the runtime, whereas the theatrical cut is close to 90 minutes, just over 90 minutes, whereas the director's cut is almost 2 hours. So I thought I'd mention that right away in case I talk about something that's like you watch the theatrical cut and you think to yourself, wait, that wasn't in the movie. Or at least the version that I watched. So just putting that out there. And I thought this movie was pretty well shot throughout. And the only real issue that I have with in terms of how this movie is presented visually is that there's a couple too many close shots at a few points where I don't really get a good sense of the location very well. But for the most part, I thought it looked good. And the creature designs I really love in this movie. I love the design of Tim Curry's, like the devil in this movie. I think he looks fantastic in this. And the performances are great, especially Tim Curry, even though he's not in the movie too much. But when he's on screen, I think he looks pretty great. And he has such a commanding screen presence that goes a long way. And despite his limited screen time, he adds so much to the movie. I love the design, and I think he looks great in most shots that he's in. And this movie is pretty much just a fairy tale, and I liked that angle to it. And there was plenty of stuff about it that was like kind of cheerful and playful, and it did kind of remind me somewhat of Lord of the Rings at a couple parts, which I found to be kind of funny. And Tom Cruise in this movie I thought was good, just not one of my favorite performances from him. Like, it doesn't really stand out as like one of his best performances. Not that he was bad, it's just like it's not the role I'm going to remember Tom Cruise for, is what I would say about it. Some of the side characters were kind of funny and worked as comedic relief characters. And I thought the music in this movie was good, and supposedly the score is like completely redone in the director's cut as opposed to the theatrical cut. I don't know all the differences there, but I thought the music was good in the movie. And my favorite scenes in this movie are the scenes with Darkness. I think he's like a really great character. And like I said, Tim Curry does a great job. And like he's the best character in the entire film for me. And I just love the voice and the look and everything to do with him. And even just the scenes, even though nothing is happening at points and it's just characters talking, there's just so much to soak in and absorb about the scene. And I loved all that. And I was never bored in this movie, despite the 2 hour runtime. And there was always something going on that had me engaged. And if we're going to talk about some complaints that I have with this movie, some things are just a little minor, like some sound design choices were a bit odd. And I was like, why'd you feel the need to do that? I'm not quite sure. And some editing choices were a bit choppy that felt like they could have been done a bit better. And there's an overuse of slow motion in this movie. I feel like if you just sped everything up into normal speed, the movie would be like 10 minutes shorter, possibly. And sometimes when certain effects were pulled off in this movie, it was just kind of obvious how they would have done it. And I wished it was masked a bit better. And not sure why certain characters did certain things in this movie. It just felt a bit odd at points. And one line that I did note down in this movie that for some reason just really stuck with me, possibly because it hasn't really been like memed or like talked about all that much, or at least not in my rotation or like things that I've come across, anything like that. And it's just a simple little line. Sit. I value your thoughts. Share them with me. I like that line a lot. And that's about all I have to say about Legend. I know that there's like some other fun facts that you can make about this movie, that there was some unused footage in this movie that made it into Blade Runner, like the later cuts of that movie, not the theatrical cut of Blade Runner, but in the director's cut and everything that came out after that. It's in Blade Runner. And also, Tim Curry was just like really suffering with all that makeup and like that having to perform that character. He was just like trying to get out of that thing and just like ripped it to the point where it caused like serious injuries for him. Like, I'm fully aware with that, and I wish that hadn't happened to him. But by the end of the day, I think this is a good movie, and I'll definitely watch it again. Not one of my favorite movies from Ridley Scott, but still good nonetheless, and I'll check it out again at some point. So, check this movie out whenever you get the chance, and with all that being said, I'm going to give Legend a 7 out of 10. Thank you for watching my videos as always. If you enjoyed this review, be sure to leave a like and comment down below you thought of Legend, and my social media links will all be in the description, so follow me there. And last but not least, subscribe to be a part of Foley Nation, and I'll see you when I get my next review up, and that is going to be for Greenland. So look forward to that, but until I get that up, thank you for watching and have a great day.